welcome to the 60-minute yin. I have a strap which you can use a belt or a towel as an alternative. A bolster, which you can use a pillow as an alternative, and a block, which either a decent sized book or a folded up towel, nice and densely folded up. So those are some of the props that we're going to be using this evening. Yin, as you know, is a practice to hold the postures for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes even a little bit longer. And the point is to get into the fascia that surrounds the muscles and the joints. So yeah, let's get started in a comfortable seat. So sitting up nice and tall in the sits bones, hands can rest on the knees. Draw the chin back in space to lengthen the back of the neck. Close the eyes or keep a soft gaze. Begin to draw the crown of the head up towards the sky. Shoulders relax down and away from the ears. Tailbone rooting down towards the mat, down towards the earth. Crown of the head gently drawing up towards the sky with the chin continuing to draw back in space, lengthening the back of the neck. Taking a nice couple big deep breaths, filling the chest, filling the belly, and exhaling completely. Allow your whole body and your whole being to arrive on your yoga mat in this present moment. Letting go of anything leading up to the yoga practice today, and also letting go of anything that may occur afterwards. Using your breath as an anchor for your body and your mind. Without judgment or attachment, now and throughout the practice, noticing your thoughts and emotions. What I mean by without judgment or attachment is notice them, acknowledge them, and then allow them to pass without getting caught up. Using your breath as an anchor. One of the most challenging things about this practice can be the mind, because we're holding the postures for a bit longer. Allowing the mind to settle can be a real challenge. So using the breath and the sensations of the body, really tuning into the sensations of the body, can help us stay in the practice. Paying attention to the sensations of the breath. Noticing where you can soften, possibly the space between the eyebrows, the tongue away from the roof of the mouth and the jaw. Softening through the shoulders, the knees. And collectively, having the intention to honor the cues of our own body over everything else. So the sensations of the body that kind of guide us and tell us, no, that's too much, or, oh, I could go a little bit further. Really honoring these cues. And then bringing any other intentions to the practice. It can be an intention or even a dedication, sending energy to somebody who may need it. And then gather the hands to heart center. Gently draw the chin down towards the chest, opening up through the back of the neck. Shoulders release gently down the back. Chin draws nearer to the chest. And then gently begin to flutter light back into the eyes. And slowly we'll transition to our first posture. So opening up to a wide-legged seat. Bringing the pillow and then possibly your block or block substitute underneath the pillow to put it at an angle. It depends how flexible you are in the inner thighs. So setting it up so that it just comes out from your pelvis. And then slowly and gently lowering yourself down onto the pillow. Your forehead can come down, or it might be more comfortable to have the temple or the side of the head resting. Taking your time to really settle into this first posture. And then as you settle in, notice if you can soften the shoulders away from the ears, any amount. Folding any amount deeper. Or maybe your body is kind of cueing you that you need to come out a little bit. So on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being no sensation, 10 being a sensation that hurts, you want to aim for about a 4. So that you have a deep sensation of a nice stretch without it being painful. Noticing the breath. And opening up through the inner thighs. Opening up through the spine. Softening where you can soften and paying close attention to the breath. Noticing if your mind wanders, and without judgment or attachment, drawing it back to the breath and sensations of the body. And then slowly and gently begin to transition. Allow your body to move really slow between postures. Bringing the hands behind the hips, fingertips can face forward or back depending on what's comfortable for your hips. Begin to draw your shoulder blades together and open through the chest. Just kind of counter stretching the wide-legged forward fold, opening up through the chest. And then gently releasing back down to center. We're gonna bring the pillow setup over towards the left leg. And then rotate the torso towards the left leg and gently fold down over the left leg. So kind of finding a stretch through the right side body. A gentle rotation through the lower back. So kind of just a different variation. Using the pillow if it's working here for you, or you can simply fold over your left leg if that feels better without the pillow. Allow your right hip to stay rooted down towards the earth. And when you arrive and kind of find where you'll stay for the duration of the stretch, notice if you can soften anywhere that you may be holding on to tension. You may also feel this in different areas. It could be along the back side of your left leg, through the hamstring, even a little bit through the back of the knee and the calf. Maybe more through the right inner thigh. So just kind of noticing where you're feeling this, where you can soften. Breathing into any new space you find through the body. Which will in turn allow the fascia, or the connective tissue that surrounds our joints, our muscles, it will allow it to relax if you deliberately kind of send the breath there and deliberately relax the area. Gently and slowly begin to transition, drawing the upper body back to center. Placing the hands behind the hips again, opening through the chest. Draw the shoulder blades together, lifting the heart up towards the sky, maybe even drawing the head back in space. And then gently coming back with the shoulders over the hips. We're going to bring the block and bolster over towards the right leg. You can use the block and bolster or you can leave it. Turning the upper body towards the right leg so that there's a slight rotation through the low back. Gently lower yourself down towards the right leg, and then you can use the pillow as support for your forehead. You can leave it if it doesn't feel good, and keep in mind that each side can be different. So whatever you did on the first side, you don't have to do on this side. And just taking a scan of your body and noticing where you can adjust in any way to make the posture more accessible in the body. Deeply breathing in and out. Using the breath to really release into this posture. Softening through the jaw and the shoulders, the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Feeling anchored through that left hip. Gently and slowly, we'll begin to draw the upper body back up to center, and then hands come back behind the hips. Draw the shoulder blades together, open up through the chest. Big breath in, big breath out. And then coming back, we'll remove the pillow from the block or the towel. Bring the right leg straight in front. The left foot comes on the outside of the right extended leg. And then you kind of move your glute out of the way to draw the right foot underneath the left hip. Yes. Kind of stacking the knees, coming to cow face pose. Draw the left hip down towards the earth so that there's an evenness through the hips. This can take a little bit of adjusting and kind of figuring out. If there's any twinginess or soreness in the knees, you can loosen how deeply your knees are bent. You can also use a bit of the towel or block underneath that left hip if it's really lifting, just for a little bit of support. And if this bottom knee is just really having a tough time, you can extend that leg and just keep drawing the left knee in towards the chest. So tons of alternatives, really listening to your body here. Bringing the hands to the ankles or the feet. Lifting up through the crown of the head, rooting down through the sits bones, drawing the shoulder blades together, really opening up through the chest, drawing the chin back in space, which will naturally lengthen the spine and the back of the head, so that the crown of the head is drawing up towards the sky. You can close the eyes or keep a soft gaze, really breathing in to the hips. And if you feel like you want to take it a step further, maybe your hips are feeling really flexible and loose today. Hips are one of those that every day can be really different depending on what's going on. You can walk the hands out in front of you and kind of make this more of a fold and drawing the chin down towards the chest. This will really deepen the stretch through the hips, so really pay attention to how it feels in the body. And also, especially pay attention if the knees start to send any signals. Coming back to that intention of honoring our body's cues over what our kind of mind is telling us we should be doing, which would be the ego mind. So relaxing through the jaw and the shoulders, noticing where you hold on to tension through the body. So sometimes in these intense stretches, we kind of, in the stillness, we find where we might be holding on to stress or tension, even old traumas through the body. And just by giving them space and time and breath, that can be enough to really allow it to pass through the body rather than staying stuck in the body. If you have kind of folded over the knees, you can begin to walk walk the hands back so that the shoulders come back over the hips. And if you've closed your eyes, you can flutter your eyes open. We're just going to take a gentle twist. So bringing the hands over next to the right hip. Both hands so that the shoulders drop perpendicular to the hips, opening up through the chest. And then gently walking back through center, over to the other side, twisting the spine in the other direction, opening up through the chest. Spine stays nice and tall and shoulders stay relaxed. And then gently come back to center. Release the legs gently and slowly, nice and long. We'll take a passive seated forward fold. So sit up nice and tall on the sits bones. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips and gently fold forward. Now, if you want some added support for your head, depending on how deeply you fold, you can bring in the pillow and put it right on top of your legs, even stacking the towel or block or whatever you have on the legs as well for a bit of support for your neck and your head. Because you really want to allow the neck and the head to release here. Shoulders melt away from the ears and your hands just fall by the sides of your legs. So sometimes we reach for our feet to really pull and push our bodies down, which is okay sometimes, but in this style, we just want to allow our body to fully relax. We'll still get a nice deep stretch through the backs of the legs and the spine. Releasing the muscles of the face. Noticing whatever you notice through the body, through the breath. Gently and slowly begin to turn the hands down towards the ground and walk them inch by inch to slowly draw the spine back up to straight. Shoulders come back over the hips. Just take a moment to roll the shoulders back. Placing the hands behind the hips, open up through the chest, draw the shoulder blades together, maybe even point the toes, really opening up through the front body. And then gently soften through the back. And this time we'll leave the left leg extended long. The right foot comes on the outside of the left extended leg. Kind of draw your hips over to the left to allow the space for the left foot to come towards the right hip, stacking the knees. And again, keeping in mind that this side could land really differently. So whatever you did on the first side might not stand up feeling okay on this side. So take your time and listen to however your body kind of wants to adjust and modify. You can stick some support under this hip if it's really lifting up off the mat. Also listening to the knees, you can leave your bottom leg extended. You can kind of bring the bottom of the leg or the shin or calf kind of out a little bit. Hands land on the feet or the ankles. Maintaining a nice tall spine here. And kind of feel into how this feels before you move into any other variations. Really giving yourself the time and the space to notice. And like I said, aiming for that 4 out of 10 sensation, a nice deep stretch without it being painful. And again, that option and invitation to draw the fingertips forward, kind of tenting your fingers. And then if you do this variation, drawing the chin towards the chest can be nice and deepen it even further. But again, listening to your body, keeping a soft gaze or closing your eyes can help you keep your attention inwards, which will allow for you to tune into the cues of your body, and also using the breath as an anchor. The breath can help you go a little bit deeper. Noticing the breath for the last few moments in this posture. And then gently and slowly begin to walk the hands back to the legs if you did fold forward. And then begin to twist towards the left, bringing the right arm on the inner part of the right leg, actually, on top. Opening up through the chest, spine nice and tall, opening up towards the left. And then gently twisting towards the other way, left hand on the inside part of that left foot, opening up through the chest, just a gentle twist through the spine, and then come back through center, release the legs. And this time we're gonna bring the legs a bit, or the feet rather, a bit wider than the hips, knees pointed up towards the sky, and gently allow the knees to go over to the right. Pausing here, noticing the breath and any sensations through the body. And then gently coming back to center. There we go. Sorry, I couldn't tell if you guys could see me or not. Okay, so coming back to center, we're gonna bring the feet on the floor and keep the pillow and block and strap nearby, kind of that reaching distance for once you're down on the mat. We're gonna gently lower ourselves down onto the mat, tuck the shoulders down and away from the ear, and come to a supported bridge. So we can use our block or block alternative for supported bridge. We're gonna root down into the feet, tuck the pelvis up towards the chest, and then lift the hips up towards the sky. Slide the block or folded up towel underneath the lumbar spine, and then allow the lower back or lumbar spine to fully rest on that block or block alternative, opening up through the chest, shoulder blades walk together. Feel all four corners of the feet rooting down towards the earth. Knees point up towards the sky, really opening up through the pelvis and the front of the hips. Softening through the muscles of the face and the jaw. The chest and the belly, feeling the rise and the fall of the belly with the breath. And if it feels okay, begin to extend the right leg long on the mat, opening up further through the right front of the leg. And then if it feels okay, draw the left knee in towards the chest. It won't come as far in as it would if your hips were on the floor. Your hands kind of supporting the left knee drawing in, interlacing around. And if that feels not so relaxing in the arms, you can use the strap or the belt, whatever you have, as an extension of the arm. So if it feels like your arms can't quite relax, if they're holding on to the knee, that's a nice alternative or a nice modification. Down to the earth, we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest, switching sides, and then slide that left leg long, opening up further through the left front body. Modifying any way that makes this more accessible in your body. Feeling the rise and the fall of the belly with the breath. Couple more deep breaths here. And then carefully begin to transition, releasing that right foot down. The left foot comes back to the mat, both knees pointing up, just pausing in supported bridge for a moment. And then begin to root down through the feet to lift the hips just enough to remove the prop from underneath the hips, and then slowly draw the hips back down to the earth. We're going to bring the soul. Feeling the rise and the fall of the belly, the softening of the jaw, the openness through the inner thighs. And then to transition as gently as possible, bring the hands to the outsides of the legs, kind of to the outer thighs or hips even. Draw the legs and knees towards one another, and then heel toe the feet apart so that they come about as wide as the mat, and then the knees kind of knock together. Just for a bit of opposition, pausing here for a moment, feeling the whole lumbar spine in contact with the mat. Noticing as well the middle back and the upper back drawing down. Big breath in, big breath out, maybe even exhaling through the mouth. Gently draw one knee in towards the chest and the other knee draws in towards the chest. Gently rock from side to side, massaging out the lower back. Maybe even massaging the back of the head by drawing one ear towards the mat and the other ear towards the mat as you rock from side to side. And then coming into Happy Baby, we're gonna draw the hands and arms between the knees, reach for the feet or the ankles, the big toes. Lower down on the legs is okay as well. And then relax the whole upper body. So the shoulders melt towards the mat. The chest opens. Lifting the feet up towards the sky, kind of parallel. If you're inside, kind of parallel with the ceiling. If the ceiling came down, it would land flat on the feet. A little bit of movement can be nice here, or stillness can feel really good. So kind of honoring that cue in your body. Deepening the breath for the last couple of moments here. Opening up through the hips. Gently begin to release the heels down, and then feet come to the mat. If there's any last bit of movement that you would like to take before we settle into Shavasana, go ahead and take that, or simply slide the heels out, opening up through the legs, nice and wide. Draw the shoulders, tucking them towards one another and down away from the ears. Lifting up and opening up through the chest. Always an option to take any other comfortable position for the final pose if for whatever reason the traditional Shavasana isn't feeling good. Also an option to slide the pillow underneath your knees if that feels good. Getting as comfortable as possible here for the final posture of this practice, feeling the whole back side of the body, the points where it comes into contact with the mat. Resting heavily on the floor. Lifting up through the front body, noticing the front body opening up towards the sky. Feel and notice the bottom half of the body from heels to hips. Feel and notice the top half of your body from hips to crown of head. Feel and notice the right half of the body, the right arm, the right leg, the right torso, the right part of the head and the face, the neck. Then feel and notice the left half of the body, the left arm, the left leg, the left torso, the left part of the head, neck, and face. And then notice where the two halves of the body meet in the middle. From root center, low belly, mid belly, heart center, throat center, third eye center, and crown of head. Feel the whole body resting in stillness with an ease of breath for Shavasana. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Begin to invite small and subtle movements back into the limbs, the fingers, the toes, the ankles, the wrists. Maybe drawing one ear towards the mat and the other ear towards the mat, just inviting small movements back into the head and the neck. Placing the feet on the mat, feel all corners of the feet rooting down. And then gently draw one knee into the chest, the other knee into the chest, using the hands on the knees and the shins as support. Gently rocking from side to side. And then carefully and gently draw yourself over onto the right side, using your right arm as a pillow, supporting your head. Knees draw in towards the chest. Left hand comes just in front of the chest, and then rooting down into that left hand gently and slowly draw yourself up to a seat. Arriving in a comfortable seat, cross-legged or otherwise, root down through the sits bones, lift up through the crown of the head, draw the chin back in space, lengthening the back of the neck. Shoulder blades draw towards one another. Resting your hands on your knees, we'll close the practice with 3 big deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling fully. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling fully through the mouth. Last one, inhale through the nose, exhale fully through the mouth. And bring the hands to heart center. May any goodness from this yoga practice resonate out to all beings everywhere. Namaste.